S Word, featuring Will Gavin and Master Tess Fassian. And a squad of big-name contributors. The S Word from talkSPORT.
Hello and welcome to the S Word, sponsored by Kalshi, powered by talkSPORT. I'm Will Gavin, live here in London, where match day 3 is well underway for the World Cup, and those knockout stages are just on the horizon. That first round of 32 game on Sunday, honestly, can't get here sooner after FIFA's mess of switching to head-to-head games. I'll get into that in a short while with Master Tess Fassian live and direct from Los Angeles. The Scots, well, they are all but out. I know they've got a 41% chance according to one place, a 28% chance according to Opta. A huge amount would have to go right for them in order for them to stay in this tournament. Did Steve Clarke's decisions cost this tournament the best fans it's had to offer up until this point? And plus, we've got an absolute superstar lineup of guests today. We've got Mark Donaldson, the brilliant Mark Donaldson, joining us from ESPN. He was at all of the Scotland games, full kilt, full hat, like paddy hat, whole way, looking great. I'm sure he had a great time. We'll get his thoughts on all of it. The brilliant Kev Egan will join us as well, MLS commentator. He's been doing a lot around Atlanta and around the tournament itself. We'll have the fantastic South African in Brazil, who can give us both thought processes on that. The great Mbizo Mzamane will join us on the show. And broadcasting royalty is in the house. A woman who started her career in the very hallowed halls of talkSPORT and now has ascended all the way to hosting the World Cup to millions on American television. The wonderful Rebecca Lowe, America, is with us a little bit later on in the show. You can get in touch with us across all forms of social media. We're live right now on YouTube on the talkSPORT S Word channel, as well as on the talkSPORT channel. We're live on SiriusXM FC. We're live on TuneIn Radio as well. But get in touch with us via social. We're at talkSPORT S Word on X, on Instagram, and on those YouTube channels. So get involved in the chat, get involved in the show. We'll talk about all of last night's games. And of course, I didn't even mention it. But you know why I didn't mention it? Because it's a dead rubber now. The Usmnt against Turkey tonight. We'll preview that game as well. All coming up here on the S Word. Oh, it's a beautiful, beautiful day to see my friend Master and a wonderful shirt that he is rocking, representing Brazil. After you wore the Scotland with such pride previously, and now our many Scottish fans who have been so wonderful to us, who have blown up our videos with Shaban, and then you come in here and just give them a big old kick in the teeth, Master. What are you doing?
I mean, I didn't do it. Steve Clarke did it. Then why are you blaming me? I had nothing to do with Vinny Jr. going crazy. But, I just support my boy. Bye, la Vinny.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Is there, let me ask you, a shirt that you wouldn't wear? Like, I love that you are... It's a real funny, like, tribal thing with football. Like, people would never wear the shirt of another club team, right, necessarily. Maybe they would if they're, like, it's not another Premier League team, but they'd wear a Barcelona shirt, or they'd wear, like, a Real Madrid shirt if that was their so they're lean, or whatever that might be. But I feel like internationally, people are way more open to it. I would happily wear that beautiful green Mexico, or that amazing all-white that they were wearing last night. I'd wear that beautiful Japan shirt, etc. But there are some... There are some I wouldn't wear. I wouldn't wear Scotland because, not because I hate Scotland, because I feel like they wouldn't be a fan of me wearing it. I think that would be like, we don't want an Englishman.
What does that matter?
Absolutely ruining our beautiful blue, our beautiful Tartan Army colours. Is there any shirt that you wouldn't wear, Master, that you just say absolutely not?
No, there's not. I would wear literally every single shirt imaginable. I really would. I'm for the people, Will. I'm a man of the people. So... There are some Premier League shirts in here that you would be shocked that I have in my closet. I'm just going to say
go on. Have you got a United?
I do have a United. I have a couple United.
You got any Tottenham?
I have a... No.
We found the line. We have finally found the line. What?
No.
What about...
I would not.
A little bit of Chelsea?
Do I have Chelsea?
See, I can imagine you'd have like a Chelsea like Drogba, because you've talked about previously in the past, like him, Essien, like those great African players that you grew up watching. So I could buy that. I think I'd actually own a.
I've got a Chelsea or two.
Okay.
I've got a training top Chelsea from the Drogba years, and then I think I have one from the Pulisic era as well. Got to support my Americans.
I get it. I get you. It's not where I expected to launch off on the show today, but it's just such a resplendent shirt you're wearing. And people, if they are not watching us live, they should be joining us live on YouTube to see this. Master, you're now back in LA, I believe.
I am in LA. I landed last night. Unfortunately, had to leave Mas Fiesta in Guadalajara. Had an amazing time, but would have been great to be there for Mexico Czechia. I'll tell you that much. It looked like it was an amazing watch party in Guadalajara. But I'm back in LA, and tomorrow I'll be in New York. So plenty more to come from my adventures, and we'll see where else I go in match day 3, which, by the way, Will, has gotten off to a great start, hasn't it? What a great format. What a great format. Really. So far, 6 matches, 6 bangers, already delivering. Wow, what a tournament. What a group stage.
Literally couldn't be more wrong. Last night, when Haiti took the lead, and we had a situation where Scotland are only a goal down, Haiti have suddenly gone a goal up, and in the original old format of goal difference and goals scored, we were in a genuine situation where a goal either way would have made it proper tension, and instead it was like, oh great, they've scored a goal, let's congratulate them, let's pat them on the back, but they can't do
their
anything.
Their first goal in 52 years. Did you see the fans going crazy? They did more than a golf clap. They did more than a golf clap.
And it could have led to them having a chance to go through, Master. But instead, for some inexplicable reason, FIFA have seen what UEFA have done, which turned this into a head-to-head in the Euros, which has been demonstrably worse for the tournament.
No,
and have added it to this. It has. No, I'm telling you.
No, it hasn't.
I'm telling you. Let me.
Why do you guys hate winning in Europe? Why do you guys hate winning in Europe so much? I do not understand it. You're not cooking. You are literally cooking beans on toast. You're not cooking anything with this take.
The expanded World Cup tournament has been a success so far. We can all agree on that, right? The so-called minnows have brought so much joy to this tournament, whether it's from the fans, whether it's from the performances, and that includes the Cabo Verdes, the Curaçaos, even the Scotlands, the best fans in the whole tournament so far, if you took a poll of everyone, right? They've undoubtedly made this tournament a huge amount richer. But for me, FIFA have completely and utterly undermined it by changing these tie-breaking decisions. By taking this third round of games. I'm saying, let me have my say on this, because I truly, truly believe this is the case. The fact is that they need every game to be as entertaining as possible, to have as much jeopardy on it as possible, to prove that this expanded format works. The usual multi-game chaos that we get in the last group stages is part of the real joys of it. Instead, right now, I'm sitting there going, let's get to the knockouts, because let's be honest, we know 90% of what's going to happen already.
No, you don't.
Look at tonight.
No, you don't.
Look at tonight.
You don't know what 90% is going on right now, Will. You don't.
Tonight, Master. Look at tonight. Tonight could have been one of the best days in this whole World Cup. All 6 games would have meant something tonight. All 6 games would have had something on the line. Germany could have still been caught by the Ivory Coast. Ecuador could have capitalised on that jeopardy to actually catch the Ivory Coast themselves. The USA would have to beat Turkey to finish top of the group. Turkey could still qualify by getting above Australia or Paraguay. Tunisia could have done the same with Sweden. All of that could have still happened tonight.
There's a 5-goal differential between US and the rest of the group. Yes, it means everything. It doesn't make any difference. They would not catch that. In your delusional mind, you only have to lose by 2.
You only have to lose by 2, and the others have to catch. But I'm not even saying about that necessarily. I'm saying the bigger one is Turkey could go and catch them. 5 goals is make-upable. 5 goals is absolutely make-upable. Australia could be Paraguay 3-0. Paraguay could be Australia 3-0. You could lose 2-0 to Turkey. All of those things could absolutely happen. All of those things could 100% happen. And instead, we've got dead rubber. These games tonight, I don't even feel like I have to watch them. I'll just watch the expanded ones, the expanded highlights tomorrow. I'll watch them for the sake of the show. But honestly, they have taken all of that beautiful jeopardy out. Tonight, Paraguay and Australia could go full West Germany, Austria, just settle on a 0-0 draw, both go through. It hurts Scotland, it hurts a bunch of other teams, and it hurts the tournament overall. I hope that this head-to-head thing is absolutely killed after this tournament. I hope they go
Why do you guys hate winning in Europe? I don't understand it. Why do you guys not prioritize winning? You guys absolutely hate winning. It should matter if you beat your opponent. That should be the priority. Why should goal differential be the priority?
So why should
it didn't make any sense during the old format. No, I'll let you cook.
No, you didn't.
Now it's my time to cook.
No, you didn't. You talked over me the whole way through.
No, you were not cooking at all.
Tunisia lost to Sweden. You just asked me. You asked me a question. I'm answering your question. Tunisia lost to Sweden.
Finish my question.
Tunisia lost to Sweden, right? That has happened. Okay?
Yeah, happened 5-1, yes.
Yeah. Now, what if Sweden lose a game and then Tunisia beat the team that Sweden beat and they all end up on the same points and on like similar goal differences, right? But you're just saying, well, no, they lost that one game, so the other 2 games don't actually matter. What you're doing is you're taking out the possibility that you can have one bad day. You're taking out the possibility of a redemption arc.
Win the game.
I'll tell you what then. Let's sack off 7-game series. MLB, NBA, hockey. Let's sack off 7-game series. Pointless. Because one night, It could be a refereeing decision, could be a bit of bad luck, could be an injury. You lose one game.
On that night, you were the better team.
But it's all one game. But it's all one game, so it doesn't matter.
Why do you guys not understand this very fundamental
concept?
It is
absolutely dreadful.
It should matter if you beat your team.
And it does matter.
And it matters how much you beat them by. Why should Sweden get through? Why should a team get through that is even on points with a team that they lost to, despite the fact that they scored more goals against another opponent?
Because in the other two games they played better
sound like
than
it's
them.
completely
The other two games they played better.
It's
a 3
they
games.
could have won 7-1 against Curacao.
It's a 3-game
them battering one team with 7 goals.
It should not come down to
their
one
goal
result.
differential. Why does that matter more than
it's about how you play over 3 games? It's about how you react. It's how the coaching
one
tracks.
game
It's how
is
you
a
change
random
things.
situation does not make any sense.
It is completely unfair that Haiti had no chance
way.
last night. Absolutely zero chance. Haiti could have blown
They
them
lost
away.
4-2. They lost 4-2.
But that doesn't.
It didn't matter.
Yeah,
You're playing a hypothetical situation that did not even play out. Haiti lost to Morocco. You were sitting there waiting for that moment to happen, and it never happened. It never happened. That moment never happened.
We'll go to 64 teams. We'll just go straight to knockout stages. We'll draw it out on a seeding basis. All those great new teams who have come in, all those smaller teams who've had their first opportunity to get to World Cup. Now,
I don't get why you're saying nothing matters.
You won't get your 3 games. You lose 1 game.
Ivory Coast, Ecuador, Curacao. Why are you saying none of this matters? It does matter.
8 positions are already decided going into these final games. It's pointless. It's utterly pointless.
You act like there hasn't been dead rubber matches in other World Cups before or other tournaments.
Yeah,
why is this one in particular such as... Huh?
The odd dead rubber is not the same as the whole tournament. When you are trying to convince people,
you're stuck on this mindset saying that this.
Oh, sorry.
You've been stuck on this yesterday. You were waiting every single match in the group chat. You're waiting every single match in the group chat to prove your point with this naive and so dumb thing that football fans in Europe and all around the world are stuck on, not realizing the fact. Why should a team get through when they beat the other team if they're stuck on the same goal differential? Because you battered a Curacao 7-1 all of a sudden. That should be the difference. Sweden had every chance in the world, when they were up 5-1 at the start of the tournament, beating Tunisia. They had a great goal differential. They had 3 points. They had every single opportunity and a great percentage to make it through the tournament and even win the group. They lost 5-1 to the Netherlands at that point. And if they lose again to Japan today, guess what, Will? They're probably going to get eliminated. So that's on them. Listen, if you want to avoid this situation, win your games. Why is that such a hard concept to understand? Win your games. You play to win the game. You don't play for, goal differential. I scored more goals than you did in 3 games. Maybe I should get through than you can. You're having every single chance in these 3 matches to win the games and advances to the knockouts. And if you don't agree with that, then I'm sorry. I just feel like that's just a completely stupid opinion.
The way that the whole tournament has been set up for the last 80 years has been that it works.
They changed it in 98. They changed it.
Listen, I understand. I understand modernising the game, right? I understand that when they changed the offside rule, some people went, oh, this is ruining the game. That when they changed the back pass rule, some people went, oh, this is ruining the game. But FIFA literally have the proof that the European tournaments, the UEFA tournaments, have been worse over the last 4 tournaments because there have been so many more dead rubbers at the end of groups. There have been so many more games that are meaningless. And not only that, but you also lose competitive balance. You also have a situation where tonight with the Ivory Coast, where they know that they are relying on Germany to get a result, despite the fact that Germany are going to go, well, we're already through, so we're going to rest players. And I know that has happened historically in other games.
Ecuador hasn't scored.
I know that can happen. I know that can happen historically as well. But this increases the likelihood tenfold when you make it about head-to-head record. Some things don't need to be changed in football. Some people do. No. Hold on. You are the worst for this. You are a person who constantly wants to say about, like, we should be giving the minnows respect and everything. And then you're saying, well, no, if you beat a minnow by 7-1, then it shouldn't matter more than if you beat them by 4 goals. Like, you are absolutely talking out both sides of your mouth on this.
3 points is 3 points.
Talking out both sides of your mouth on this.
No,
3 points, 2 points.
Because so many minnows have showed up and performed.
Yeah,
I'm believing in the minnows. I believe in them to get results. I believe in them to get a draw. I believe in them to get 3 points. I'm sorry. If you lose to a team,
why should Haiti have not had any opportunity to get through if they had as many wins as Scotland?
Because they lost to Scotland.
Why should they not have had any chance of getting through because they had as many wins as Scotland?
Here's the reality. You're playing a hypothetical situation.
3 games.
Here's the reality.
You both have 3 points. You both won a game. You've beaten a team that Scotland have lost to.
Here's the reality.
If you beat a team
Scotland's not going to make it in the knockouts. Haiti's not going to get. Scotland's not going to make it in the knockouts. Haiti's not going to make it in the knockouts.
Well, why are we even bothering then?
Hypothetical scenario.
Well, let's go back to 32 teams then.
They should have performed better at the end of the day. You want to keep blaming the system. Scotland should have performed better. Haiti should have performed better. If you want to blame anyone, you should blame Haiti's coach because all of a sudden He wants to start Lenny Joseph and they score the first goal in the tournament. How about in the first 2 matches, you should have played Lenny Joseph more than you did 32 freaking minutes in the first 2 matches. How about you go talk about the tactical decisions and the changes that Haiti should have made because they should have performed better against Scotland, but they waited until the 3rd match day to put their best freaking striker up on the pitch and start him in that starting 11. How about you talk about that? How about you talk about Steve Clarke only having 2 shots on goal in the last 2 matches? How about you talk about that? These teams had every opportunity to take these points.
We will talk about all those things, but we're not talking about that, Master. We're not talking about those specifics. We're talking about...
We should be.
We are talking about when I'm watching the games last night and this wonderful moment happens for Haiti, and we have seen it so many times over the years. Through, for me, 40 years of watching these major tournaments, through watching wonderful moments of league tables that have gone all the way to goal difference after 38 games. All of these things have been about the drama of the moment, and we lose all of the in-the-moment drama.
Still
tonight,
the drama's still
there is a legitimate situation tonight where the USA could be a goal down to Turkey and Paraguay could be 2-0 up on Australia, and you've got 15 minutes to go and you're going, oh my God, if we get 2 more goals in the right direction here, the whole table gets flipped. This is amazing. Everything changes. And instead, you're just going, yeah, it doesn't really matter.
You're ignoring all the drama that happened last night. And honestly, quite honestly, the reason why you're probably ignoring it is because everyone in Europe was probably asleep. Because Czechia, Mexico, and South Africa, South Korea in Group A brought all the freaking drama. But you would probably wait for Group B because Group B also has some drama as well. As Switzerland and Canada were battling for first place, and Bosnia and Herzegovina and Qatar were also battling for the 3rd place situation. So the drama's been there. I don't know. I don't understand. Morocco, they had every single chance as well. Brazil took care of business. They won the group. Everything's been settled. There's been drama in every single match. Every single match had something on the line yesterday.
I don't get why it isn't on the line yesterday.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Morocco was fighting for something against Haiti. Scotland, Brazil, there was something on the line. Bosnia and Herzegovina versus Qatar, something was on the line.
Tonight,
Switzerland versus Canada, something was on the line. Czechia, Mexico, something was on the line. South Africa, South Korea, something was on the line. I don't get why you wake up this morning and thinking, I need to make this rant about this terrible system when last night literally proved that the system is working. It's working. You're just stuck on the idea that I'm sorry, it's not going to come to fruition. And once again, you're going to come on the show apologizing that you were wrong, just like you were wrong about the 48-team tournament, and that you're going to be wrong about hydration breaks and all the other changes.
You need to get off this. You're wrong about the hydration breaks. I never said I didn't like the 48-team tournament. I always said I like more teams, but I've always said I don't like the fact that the way they've set it up. I'll tell you how I want it.
You were not a fan of 48
I'll tell you how I want it. I was always a fan of 48 teams. You can go back and find it. I can literally go back and find it. I've always loved 48 teams. I've always loved the expansion. I've talked about that. Master, I've been having these conversations on air.
Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia is coming up right now.
Long before you guys even met.
Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia was the team that
I made one joke on air 5 weeks ago.
It was a continued joke. It was a continued joke. Because that's exactly what you talked about. Every single time. You said these matches would not live up to... You said it was too many matches. You said it was too many matches. And now, guess what? Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia has a lot on the line. It has a lot on the line. Cape Verde can win the group. Cape Verde can win the group. Because they got a result against Spain. These minnows are proving that they're... You know what another minnow's proving something? Ghana. You want to talk about that? Do we want to... You want to go there? Ghana proved the point. 4 points right now. They have a chance to do something in the group as well. There's a lot on the line right now through match day 3. If you want to be stuck on 2 or 3 matches...
It's a lot less than it would have been. You want to be stuck
on 2 or 3 burn rubber matches to prove your point by all means. Do it.
8 teams already had their position decided. 8 teams already having their position decided before the last stage of group stage matches is too many.
How different is that from a team that would have won 6 points being up 8+ goal differential, as we see time and time again from the Giants in football that are going into match day 3 doing a significant rotation because they know they're all but secured. That 0.1 percentage you're holding on to because 7 goals that can make up 7 goals. It can happen.
And when let's be realistic.
Let's be realistic.
When is sport it was never going to happen. Joyful? When is sport is most joyful? When the big upsets happen. When those
I saw one last night. And we haven't yet to talk about it. In 18 minutes, we have yet to talk about South Africa making it for the first time in the knockout stage and being the 7th African nation making it to the knockout stage. A team that lost 2-0 to Mexico at the start of this tournament.
I'd love to have talked about it.
But you started the show.
You started the show by taking a dig at me, and I fought back, and I think that's completely fair. You started the show by taking a dig at me, and I fought back, and I think that's completely fair.
You talked about the format to start off with. That's what we did.
Nope, that was not me, mate. That was you. You literally made a
give it 2 minutes. We'll give it 2 minutes. We'll give it 2 minutes. It deserves it. Congratulations, South Africa. I'm sorry we should have spent more time talking about you, but 2-0 victory over South Korea, stunning South Korea and Mexico. It was a tremendous performance, one I did not see happening, and I'm sure a lot of South Africans that I know did not see happening.
We haven't got a guest
sudden
about South Africa, by the way, and about Brazil later.
And Mbizo Mzamane, of course.
Yeah.
And trust me, and Mbizo did not expect it happening because I was texting him throughout the night as that match was going on, and he was stunned in shock. He did not expect South Africa to perform and make it into the knockout stage, but they become the seventh African nation to make it to the knockouts. I literally thought this was the worst African side coming into this tournament, considering the form they've been in and how they performed at AFCON, and they've shut me up. They have absolutely shut me up, and they have deserved to be in the knockout stage. Defeating South Korea in Monterrey when South Korea had a chance to secure second place, someone that had something on the line as well. Now they're going to finish in third, and it completely flips the bracket, which again has a lot of spots still on the line.
The qualifying does not matter in the same way. That's all I'm saying. That's
then
all
don't watch.
I'm like,
then don't watch.
The absolute joys of those real, just.
I had a lot of joy. I will have a lot more joy.
There's almost no point of having the games played at the same time which they have done since 1982 at this point, because you're just not getting that tension. We're moving on.
You guys in Europe don't even have two TVs in your house to watch two matches. No, you guys have one point real quick. No, one point. No,
we'll come back to it. We'll come back to it. We have a guest waiting for us.
You guys don't even have two TVs in your houses in London, let alone have a TV in a bar.
This is the S Word, sponsored by Calci. There is a guest waiting. We have gone over time. We can come back to it. That's absolutely fine. Let's take a break.
Hydration break time.
Touchline to the terraces. talkSPORT presents the S Word. talkSPORT presents the S Word. High energy exchanges, fiery fan reactions, and the biggest football debate. The S Word from talkSPORT.
You're back with the S Word on talkSPORT. I'm Will Gavin. Master Tesfatian is live in Los Angeles as we look forward to the rest of match day 3, but we look back on last night as well. We will talk about those phenomenal results. We've got some great guests coming up on the show as well. Mbizo Mzamane will join us to talk about South Africa, to talk about Brazil. Kev Egan will be here, MLS commentator. He's been in Atlanta for some of these wonderful games, and he's also done some lovely stuff on Insta about the fans out there. And later in the show, we are joined by broadcasting royalty in the form of Rebecca Lowe, who started her career in these very hallowed halls. Well, kind of, in our old, much worse offices, but yeah, we'll gloss over that bit.
Who didn't start their careers at talkSPORT at this point? I feel like I learn something new every single time we have a guest on.
Hey, we got some heroes who have come out of here. Notice how their careers ascend dramatically after they leave. No comment. In the meantime, let's go back to last night's action. We touched on it very briefly, but Scotland's unfortunate result against Brazil in Miami last night.
Uncharted territory lies ahead for Scotland.
Pitch side, watching your team at a World Cup playing against Brazil.
When you look at Brazil's attacking play in the final third of the pitch and you look at ours, there's really no comparison.
McKenna is blocked off. Vinny Jr. is in. It's a gift. A World Cup gift for Brazil.
It was a tough ask tonight and we came up short.
Guns missed it. Headed in. Vinicius Jr. for 2.
We've got ourselves to blame.
Scotland fans will now be looking ahead to a number of potential permutations.
We need a lot to go away, but we'll hope.
Bruno Guimaraes has outpaced Kenny McLean. Lovely feet. Lace it square. Cunha! It's 3. It gets worse and worse for Scotland.
The format now allows us to sit here and think that we have some sort of chance. Can you argue that we deserve it? I'm not sure.
Chances at the moment, I think we're probably going home.
And a nervy few days away. 3-0 to Brazil. No Scotland, no party, they say. Well, the Scotland party might not be far from being over.
That was how you heard Brazil's 3-0 victory over Scotland last night. So Scotland with that defeat, and also on top of it, the South Africa result last night, meaning that South Korea will be a better third-place team than them, leaves them on the verge of leaving this tournament and not making it out of the group stage for the first time in their history. I don't like the intro to one of our favourite guests being that negative as we go, but he has been out there. He's been enjoying the Scotland party, and I'm hoping is still in buoyant mood despite the result. The wonderful Mark Donaldson joins us. Mark, how are you, brother?
Good morning. Good morning. By the way, I support Hearts, Scotland and the Miami Dolphins. I love misery.
We've talked about this on the show a bunch of times before, but like, I am somebody who in my life has been to 5 playoff finals and lost them all. Obviously, being an England fan, I'm sure talking to a Scotland fan, you know, it's not fair to complain about making finals and losing them is or like an awful way to behave. But yeah, trust me, being a Reading fan, being an everything else fan, I do sympathise with you. However, talk to us about last night, brother.
You know what? There's a GIF or a JPEG or a meme going around, and it says Jurassic Clarke, which some might find is harsh, but he's got to take the blame for not just last night. It's Brazil, right? You're probably going to lose. It's the manner, and mistakes happen. 1982 World Cup, Willie Miller, Alec McLeish made a mistake against Russia, right? So that happens, but it's how you're set up. I sat behind the goal last night watching Angus Gunn in possession more often than most Scotland players, and he's looking to pass the ball. He's a goalkeeper, and he didn't have a good game, and that was with his hands, but with his feet. But that's coaching. It's the negativity of the coaching. Here's one for you, and this is when two statements that are diametrically opposite can actually apply in the same way. Steve Clarke is the reason why Scotland have been at 3 major tournaments over the past few years. But Steve Clarke is also the reason why Scotland have won 1 of 9 games and are not likely to qualify for the knockout stage of any of the tournaments.
So what do you do with Steve Clarke? I mean, you just gave him an extension, but
exactly, a 4-year deal.
What are you going to do with Steve Clarke at this point? What is his sentiment? How do you move on from him? And I'm sure the press conference, once again, walking away from the press conference as he's dealing with the pressure, that probably doesn't leave a good sentiment for you either.
That was rude. And he did it after the Morocco game. And I thought what Shaban said on talkSPORT last night was absolutely spot on. Finally, something that her and I agree on this show after Celtic against Hearts. But she's right. That was disgraceful. He did it against Morocco, and he's now done it against Brazil as well to Ailey Barber, who, I mean, I don't like them, but you have to do them, these super flash 40-second interviews. Just get on with it. But bigger picture here, he's our national coach, and it's the chances of us not qualifying for the Euros are very, very slim, because if England qualify and if Wales qualify, then Scotland are automatically through by getting one of the host nation spots that have been reserved for two of the host nations. So the likelihood is we'll get there. Now, for me, the bigger picture here is giving him a 4-year deal. Now, Steve Clarke's played an absolute blinder here. He worked it so that he wasn't going to accept a 2. And I'm led to believe he was looking around to see what was out there down in England in the Championship. And if something that he liked was available, then he would have been interested. But I don't think he found what he was looking for. So I wanted him to stay. Of course I wanted him to stay. But we're not seeing any progress here. We aren't seeing anything from the Hungary game, which is one of my lowest points following Scotland around Europe and the world at Stuttgart. That was just so bad. And he was slightly fortunate that he remained in a job after that. He could easily have gone. But to now give him a 4-year deal, he's played an absolute blinder. Bigger picture here, he only has that 4-year deal because of Ian Maxwell and because of Mike Mulroney at the SFA. They're the ones that should be asking themselves questions this morning.
They're also going to be the ones footing the bill if you cancel that contract and have to pay him off is I guess really the question. I think my difficulty with the Steve Clarke situation is that you're absolutely right. He is a legend for getting them there. It's a huge deal. All the Scotland fans have been praising him all the time they've been out there. But it was a word that Master uses regularly on the show, and I'm sometimes a little uncomfortable using as a British man, but it felt like the tactics against Morocco, when you needed something from that game, when you knew Brazil was on the horizon, it just felt cowardly to go out there and not try and go and win that game. And then when you brought your dynamic players on, you looked so much better and you had a chance of getting something out of that game, and then you're have to get something out of Brazil, and so he starts the dynamic players, and funnily enough Brazil are a very, very good football team and gave him a bit of a lashing. It felt like he got the wrong tactics at the wrong moment, and I just feel bad for the fans that have been so brilliant for this tournament so far.
I'm with you, Will. I don't like the word cowardly. I think it's easy for us to sit in Florida or in LA or yourself in London and bandish words around. That's just cheap, and I think it's unfair. What I would say is I thought we lacked bravery, and I think you get bravery from your coach. We had a guy who was at Motherwell this season, Jens Bertolascu, and it took him a few weeks to get started. But when he did, the players were brave. It's not fearing consequence. It's going out and doing what you're going to do and believing that you're good enough to do it. And have faith in your ability and have faith in your teammates, but have an organisation. I think Steve Clarke, and I've said how I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be sitting in Florida right now. I'd be in my house in Connecticut. I'd be watching the World Cup or doing something else. I've had a magnificent time at this World Cup. I had a brilliant time in Germany, but we have had no progress since we got to the Euros when we qualified after the penalty shootout in Serbia. Fine, it's your first major tournament for a long, long time. I think since the World Cup in 1998. That was back in 2020/2021. Then we go to Germany. We get gubbed in the first game. I can pretty much tell you what's going to happen at the Euros in 2 years' time from a Scotland perspective once we know the draw, if we qualify and if Steve Clarke's still in charge, which he will be. It's going to be this kind of containment, this kind of, we've got good players. But look at Haiti last night against Morocco, right? They're the worst team in the group, arguably. Scotland now would have a case of saying, hold my beer. But they had a go. Cape Verde have had a go. South Africa last night, albeit not a good result for Scotland, they're having a go. You get one opportunity to make an impression here. Why are we going home once again? The likelihood is we will be going home. Why are we going home and thinking we could have done that better? We haven't learned and we haven't progressed. That, for me, is a problem.
Did you expect coming into this tournament that you'd be walking away at the group stage and saying Scott McTominay did not score a goal? And John McGinn, the only goal that he was able to score, obviously, was in that Haiti match. With all the talk of the players and the performances that we've seen in European football, getting Scotland into this World Cup, what can you say about Scott McTominay's performance through the group stage?
I thought he was poor last night. I thought he underperformed. But you can say that about a number of players. I thought he was utilised wrongly against Morocco in a deep-lying position. It's not him. I mean, Scott McTominay, play him in the role he plays for Napoli. Why are we trying to reinvent the wheel? Why are we trying to be protective and but reactive in the kind of same way? Scott McTominay he's our best player. He's magnificent. So let him do what he's good at doing, but surround him the way that Napoli do. And it's this bravery, it's this swagger, the Scottish word gallus. We didn't have that. Everything was preventative against Haiti in the second half. Hardly laid a glove on them. Look, the conditions out here are oppressive. I get that. However, they've been here since before the Bolivia game, a week before. They trained down in Fort Lauderdale. Then they went up to New Jersey to play Bolivia. Then they went back down to Charlotte. So for someone like Scott McTominay, again, I'm not going to sit here and criticize. He didn't have a good game, but I think the whole thing is to do with the tactics that are being applied by the coach. I think a better coach, whether it's a more modern coach or whatever, a better coach, a front foot coach, a coach that teaches bravery to his players, I think we would have had a better chance. Would we got out the group? Maybe not. Would we have lost more than 3 goals or 3 to Brazil? Maybe we would have done. But you know what? At least the Tartan Army, who've had the time of their lives, could go home and say, you know what? Our players who physically have given everything, they gave everything as well as far as football is concerned. And I think they've had the handbrake on. And I think that's down to Steve Clarke.
It's obviously completely acceptable for you to feel that way this morning. Like, in no way am I mitigating what is an emotional moment, right? How do you think you'll look back on it when you kind of look back in 6 months' time, if you do go out at this stage, if there isn't some miraculous situation, you get round to the round of 32, do you think you'll still look back at a chance missed, or will you look back fondly on the wonderful memories the fans created?
I'll always look back wonderfully on the memories that the fans made. You say 6 months. I think there'll be a few Scots back over here in 9 months just to check that they don't owe any money to anybody. But that's another.
You might get some defenders coming out of Boston here in 9 months.
or maybe not. Maybe don't come back. Maybe just,
don't. Yeah, and someone, what was the Scotland song? Delamitri, don't come home too soon. Yeah, we could take that a whole different way. How will I look back on this? I'll look back on this as the best time in Boston. I'll look back on it as the worst time getting to and from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. I'll look back on it as, weirdly enough, and I put something on social media last night about how Miami transport last night, apparently it's not normally like this, was absolutely outstanding in getting fans to and from the game. I look forward to thinking about friends that we've made over here. But do you know what we see with the Tartan Army? And it shouldn't be like this, and I wish it wasn't. But it's the football that lets us down constantly. But I'd rather be here and have a go at something that we've had a chance to do and maybe to complain that things didn't work than to watch it on the couch. I just wish we would learn from our mistakes and what we've done in the past wrongly and change it. But at the age Steve Clarke is, I don't think you can teach an old dog new tricks, and you can't teach him much when it comes to a super flash interview at the end of the game.
He
said Miami transport was good to the stadium. That is news to me. You guys are living life. That is VIP lifestyle. That is one of the worst. I think MetLife is probably the worst. Second is Hard Rock, getting in and out of that stadium. So if you had a great time there, by all means, count your lucky stars, bro, because that is a rarity, my friend.
It was the tri-rail down to Golden Gables, and then free bus services, and they had designated lanes, and the number had like 500,000 comments, or not comments, 500,000 views on that post. And all the comments, the Bostonians are kind of taking the wrong end of the stick. Getting around Boston is easy. It's great. It's getting to and from the stadium that's the problem.
Foxborough's awful as well. That's another bad one.
Getting around Boston on the tee is fantastic. But ask the Swifties, ask the Taylor Swift fans what it was like getting to and from Miami Stadium. Public transport was the way to go, not Ubers or anything like that. But just being part of that. You've got your Brazil jersey on. I bought a Brazil jersey last night and got for my daughter. Just to have this opportunity. If you want to play one team at a World Cup, it's Brazil, right? And we've played them a lot, but most of us haven't had the chance to be there in person. So memories to last a lifetime. But
getting to see Vinny, the next
continue.
Brazilian superstar.
Look, I commentated on Vinny when Real Madrid played against Barcelona. at MetLife. What's that? 13 minutes before that humble brag. I apologise for that. But that's what he was all about. It was the fans that come to see him. And by the way, one of the noise last night was incredible. But one of the biggest increases in noise last night was when Neymar got called over by Ancelotti to come on. This is what the World Cup is about. And by the way, there was one period in the second half where it was Neymar and Vinny Jr. against Celtic's backup right back, Anthony Ralston. God love the World Cup.
Wonderful stuff, Mark. If the party continues, I'd love to see if you're going to Mexico, and we'll get involved in that as well. Like, it's a
by
very...
the way, guess where I'm going first. Guess where I'm going first. I'm so looking for my nephew. I'm flying up to Connecticut home today. My nephew's flying in at the same time. Big West Brom fan, unfortunately big England fan. Will Bailey's on his way over. I'm so excited. I've not seen him for 8 years. I have promised to take him to an England supporters club in Simsbury, Connecticut on Saturday to watch England against Panama. He's coming over with an 8-foot England flag, and I've told him there is a spot, a lovely, well-made bed at the bottom of the garden, right beside the Bears, because that thing is not getting in our house. But I'll be at England, Panama, not wearing this Scotland top on Saturday.
Wearing an England shirt?
No chance. No chance. Come on now. We're all Panamanian on Saturday. Come on now.
Love that. Mark, huge fan of yours. Wonderful stuff. Thank you so much. The wonderful Mark Donaldson from ESPN joining us on the S Word. And look, on a day where we started off by digging out FIFA, and I'm coming back around for it when it comes to this Mbizo situation in a short while, that you can bet your bottom dollar on that. Nice to hear that they managed to at least get the transport to Miami. It's probably the local council that's done that. Let's be honest. It's probably not FIFA at all.
Again, another stunner. Miami local council getting something done. So, congrats. Tartan Army is literally changing legislation throughout this tournament, and we are very grateful for their efforts. We really are.
Amazing. The wonderful Mbizo Mzamane joins us coming up shortly. Up next, Kev Egan, MLS Czar on Apple TV, and also doing some wonderful stuff around this World Cup in Atlanta, will join the show.
The S Word with Will Gavin and Master Tesfacion from talkSPORT. presents The S Word. Listen again and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on the talkSPORT USA YouTube channel.
Back with the S Word here on talkSPORT. I'm Will Gavin, Master Tesfatian live out in Los Angeles. Still loads to come on the show. We haven't looked back hugely on last night's games. We need to talk about the action in Group B, Group C, and we will have a wonderful guest joining us on that very topic in Mbizo Mzamane coming up for us. I'm going to get that right again. Mzamane. There we go.
There we go.
I stumbled over it. I'm like, no, do you know what? Disrespectful. Get his name right, Willie. South African in Brazil. He's going to be able to talk on both sides of that, and we'll talk about last night's game. We're also going to talk about Qatar's Modibo getting a retrospective 5-game ban for FIFA for the challenge that broke Canadian Kone's leg. But first, I used to get this guy on all the time when I was doing overnights. He's a wonderful commentator, covers the MLS. He's out there in Atlanta doing wonderful things for the World Cup. Also, people may know him from his days in WWE as well. Huge Kev Egan fan, but before we get to him, I want to show you this, which was shared on social media from Kev. Really, something we've talked about a lot on the show, summing up what it means to have the World Cup on North American soil.
Tell you a little secret?
Yeah, please.
Okay, all right. The World Cup isn't all about soccer. It's not all about football. The World Cup is about people. It's a celebration of people from all over the world that come together. It's identifying the fact that these people live for their country and they have so much passion in their country, and they'll travel all over the world to support their nation. So my advice, if you want to take it or leave it, right? Here's the thing. In years from now, you will not remember the random Wednesday that you sat at home in your slippers. You're going to remember the time you went downtown and you decided to dive in. Maybe you're going to hear a language you've never heard before. Maybe you're going to try a bit of food that you've never tasted before. You're going to feel something. You're going to feel an energy that you will not find anywhere else as nations come together from all over the world and stop arguing and start celebrating for 90 minutes when that ball is kicked, and before and after. The fan celebrations downtown will be like nothing we've ever experienced before. Only the World Cup can do this.
I think you got Dusty in the studio then. I'm not going to lie. Let's welcome the wonderful Kev Egan onto the show. Kev, how are you, brother?
Oh, it's so good to join you guys, Will. Great to see you. Master pleasure to be introduced to you, man. And you guys are doing such a great job with this show. I love it.
Nah, you're too kind, Kev. You're too kind. Listen,
Appreciate it, man.
When you gave those words in that interview, could you imagine and they're such wonderful words they were, that people were going to take them and put them into these edits and throw all those things? Like, I said about getting you on the show regardless. I sent you to, I was like, we should get Kev on. Kev's really great. And producer Ollie sent it back to me and went, oh, the guy that did this, because he'd seen it already and said it was amazing. And I'm like, I didn't even know that happened, but when I saw it, mwah, chef's kiss.
It's kind of wild because, it's just from a clip on local Fox 5 in Atlanta. You know, I was going on there every week just to push the World Cup, trying to educate people on the actual game itself and on the World Cup and what it means. And Elise, the host, just said, like, what do you say to people that don't really care about the game and that actually see it as a nuisance more than anything? And I said, it's not about football. And that's the truth. Like, when you look at some of these great stories, like we love to see the beautiful game played out in its finest form. And the World Cup is the grandest stage, of course. But some of the stories we're witnessing right now, like the collection of people from all around the world that have found this new club, the diaspora of Cabo Verdeans that have come together, the Congo and what they've experienced in their country with an Ebola outbreak and the joy that they're witnessing with their football team. There's just too many great examples right now in this tournament that it's just a joy to behold. And I hope people really grab onto this. And I think America needed this. And I say this as someone who lives in Atlanta, Georgia. The United States needed the World Cup. They needed, the people here needed to see what's playing out right now with all these nations coming together and celebrating together as one, because the reality is we're not that different. When we all get together and we have a laugh, we have an awful lot in common.
Can we also just give it up as well for the fact that diaspora has become such a part of everyone's lexicon now at this point, because it is a wonderful thing. Master.
Yeah,
well said,
Kev. I was supposed to head back at London at some point during this tournament, and I haven't, because of the joy and the camaraderie. And
we have no idea when Master's coming home. Truly have no idea when he's coming home.
Are you at the airport, Master?
No, I'm not. I just got back from Guadalajara yesterday, where I was offered by Mexican fans to stay and watch the Mexico-Czechia match in their apartments. And again, I've never been to Guadalajara before, but go to the fan fest, they see you have a good time, they see you're different and not from the area, and next thing you know, you walk away with 20 friends from Guadalajara that are telling you to come back as soon as you can and come have a great time. And that has been the experiences all across. And of course, I've visited all these different cities, been to these stadiums, and have a lot of friends there. But I've met so many more friends as a result of these experiences that it's had me stuck here. I want to relish in this because the last couple of years, this has not been the case in America. I've been more comfortable staying at home because I just did not want to deal with the tension and the strife that was existing outside.
And I don't think it's just us here in the States. You know, I think it's everywhere. Ireland's been through a tough time recently, the country where I'm from, and it's the case all around the world right now. And I just think it's a lovely reminder at a time when, you know, the ticket prices were so expensive and there was so much negativity, and rightly so, around the World Cup. It's the people, it's the fans that have reminded us of why we love this game.
How great has it been seeing the? Sorry, am I allowed to call it the Mercedes-Benz? Sorry. What has it been seeing the Atlanta Stadium in your kind of accepted home become this great centre of football that has seen 3 or 4 of the best moments of the tournament so far already?
The folks that were there yesterday, and I was hosting the fan fest, the FIFA fan fest. We had like 20,000 people, by the way, yesterday, and it was I rocked out onto the stage and I gave it my best WWE will. I gave my best Becky Lynch. I went, "Atlanta, welcome to Mexico," and the place went absolutely crazy because it was just flooded with Mexican fans that were having the time of their lives. But the Benz, yeah, you're right. Like the Haiti fans brought it yesterday, Morocco as well, and that's a stadium that wasn't even built 10 years ago. This is a city in Atlanta that has now become the epicenter of football in the United States. And a credit to Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons and Atlanta United, because he brought in Atlanta United, tremendous success from the get-go. He's bringing in an NWSL team. He's spending hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to purchase the team, to bring them into the NWSL, but also over $150 million on a training center that will rival any Premier League team for an NWSL team. So there's huge investment in the game here. US Soccer's recently moved from Chicago to Atlanta, and Atlanta's such a cool city. Like, it's a great town, and it's only thriving right now. I just opened up an Irish pub. We're the closest pub to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. With a few of us, and we're out the door busy every day right now. Our first day was the Spain game, the first game in Atlanta, and it's great to see everyone from all over the world just having a good time. And England are there, by the way. If you guys win the group, England will be flooding into the Irish exit.
Are you going to shut down when the English fans turn up? That's the question.
We're ready, man. There's no way. We're an Irish pub. There's no schoolboy error happening here. We'll have the kegs ready to go.
I might be down there actually for the round of 16, which could feature Argentina. So if I am down there, maybe I'll break away from my typical brew house cafe stop, and maybe I'll stop by this pub and check it out.
We love the folks there, but yeah, give it a little love to the new place. Yeah,
I'll check it out. But I also love Will's calling it Atlanta Stadium as you know.
He's such a pro.
We'll talk about this conversation. You know, he's such a pro. You know, just loves big FIFA. Not. Big FIFA fan.
Yeah, a big FIFA guy, me. Famously a big FIFA guy. How did the show start again? We had an 18-minute full-on argument about head-to-head versus goal difference. I'm not going to lie, Kev. It got heated, so sorry.
Honestly, it's been going on since last night. And honestly, for the last couple weeks here. But it's all love here with Will. Kev, a big fan of your work, Kev. And as you mentioned about Atlanta and the experience and the environment, you're 100% right. It's one of the best cities, if not the best city, for this sport in this country. But people were a bit concerned when the draw happened in terms of the group stage matches and wondering, you know, if Atlanta was going to be able to have that environment experience with not having as many, I guess, big profile matches. Sure. But then you're seeing like the Cape Verdes, as you mentioned, the Haitians and everyone else. It truly epitomizes the melting pot that Atlanta truly is. That the environments have been packed at 12 o'clock Eastern time, and they've been packed with countries that, again, most people would not anticipate to have such huge fan bases.
When the draw was made, there were folks here, not going to lie to you, that were saying, I think we didn't get a great draw here. We kind of got screwed. The reality is, give me Haiti over a big nation like Germany or France. Give me Haiti, because the Haitians are here to party. They're here to have a good time. Back at the World Cup since '74 for the first time, they couldn't play a single game on home soil due to political unrest. What they've been through as a country, again, one of those great stories. And the Haitians, when I was out on stage at the Fan Fest and I announced Haiti and I asked who was here, again, just the level of enthusiasm was off the charts. So give me those stories like Congo and Haiti and Cabo Verde any day of the week over some of the big nations. Now, in saying that, we in Atlanta have a round of 32, a round of 16, and a semi-final. So bring on England, bring on Argentina in the round of 16, like you say, and potentially, I mean, it's lining up. It could potentially be a Messi versus Ronaldo semi-final, from what I hear.
It's easy to say all these things when you've had Spain and you're getting a load of knockout stage games. Like, I get you, Kev. I get what you're saying.
We're spoiled.
There's been so much talk about what Scotland have brought to this tournament. I have to ask this, hopefully next time. Just imagine if Ireland were here as well. Just think about it,
man.
And like the thing is, I remember like I was doing a speaking event at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It was the Business Soccer Summit with Sports Business Journal, and I'm getting to the end of it, and Arthur Blank is on, and I introduced him. And I'm chatting with his son as well, and they said to me like, if Ireland get there, let's get Ireland there, and we'll look after you and your family. And I remember thinking, no, because I've known the family for years, and it was such a cool moment. And I went away to watch the Czech game thinking, I'm opening up an Irish pub next to the stadium. Ireland make it. My family are all coming over. We could potentially all go to the game together. This is like a Carlsberg ad. And sure enough,
let's say it's a Guinness ad.
Manning pulls the jersey. Yeah, Guinness ad. Manning pulls the jersey, and the rest is history. And I feel for Manning, but like, we should have won that game. We're 2-0 up, and I think Ireland would have brought. Like, I'm not trying to slant the Czechs, but like, they didn't bring much to the table here, did they? They didn't perform well on the pitch. Their fans aren't going viral. You want to bring something to the party. My dad always said it's not about your ability, it's about your contribution when you go to a party. Have a song in your back pocket. Be ready to sing. Be ready to do something different. And it's the same with the fans. Like, the Norwegians are just bringing so much to the party right now. The Scots have been sensational. If you're leading the way in a big supporters group for a nation, you need to come together and say, what's our X factor? What are we going to do that's different to everyone else when we go away, because we're representing our nation?
We could have definitely had Zombie at this tournament. I'm just saying.
100%.
We could have.
Yes.
I think you're absolutely like, the Austrias, the Czechias. I'd rather see the Irish and the Albanians, because they're going to bring me something. The Hungarians, those if you're not going to win, and you're not going to make it far, at least have fun, because as you see with Americans,
Czech fans now losing their mind listening to this.
As they should.
Yeah, absolutely, as they should. Kev, what has been maybe the best story that you've experienced in Atlanta? Is there a moment that, or a fan group or a couple that you've come across that has stuck in your mind through the group stage?
I think seeing the Cape Verde or Cabo Verde fans, as they say, seeing them celebrating together was absolutely amazing. And for me personally, just the stories, how this World Cup transcends generations, and seeing the fact that we've got a young megastar in Lamine Yamal, but the older fellas are producing like no one thought they would, and I think, when I look at last World Cup 3.5 years ago, I remember being on the road that day to go to call Monday Night Raw and on my travels. And just to tell you a little story, and I remember, Shane Helms, Hurricane Helms, and Corey Graves, and these guys were all saying to me, like, how would you put this story in WWE terms? And I was like, well, Mbappe is the ultimate heel, right? Messi's the absolute babyface in this scenario. He's never won the trophy. He's never gotten to this lofty height of winning the World Cup. And Mbappe's won it already as a teenager. And here at this World Cup, and I remember explaining that, and Messi finally got over the line, and it was such an amazing game, the best match I think all of us have ever seen. And in this World Cup now, there's a part of me would love to see a similar story, but I'd love to see Norway be that darling with Erling Haaland scoring goals at 25 years of age, and maybe, just maybe, Cristiano Ronaldo in this last dance with Portugal, and he's got the best Portuguese side he's ever had around him at this moment in time. Maybe he makes a run, and that would be quite the story, in the same way Mbappe and Messi was, if Erling Haaland was to spoil the party for Ronaldo, or Ronaldo to finally get over the line. That's the sort of story that I'm clinging on to.
Kev, absolutely wonderful stuff from you. At some point, I have a great WWE story that revolves around Atlanta that I will tell you at some point, but we just run out of time now, so we're just going to have to save it for next time that you're on. It's wonderful to see you, brother.
We can have good heel and villain. We can have a good heel and babyface talk when we get back. I don't know if Will's the babyface or the heel, or if I'm the heel or the babyface.
Hey Nelson, how are you?
TBD.
I'll tell you, it involves the Hyatt Regency and it involves Pat Patterson. I'll give you that little teaser. Wonderful to see you, Kev. Thank you so much for joining us. You're an absolute hero. Thank you so much. The brilliant Kev Egan joining us on the wonderful work he's doing in Atlanta. Coming up, we're going to look back on last night's games. The great Mbizo Mzamane joins us coming up momentarily. South African based out in Brazil. Plus, coming up in the second hour, broadcasting royalty joins the show in Rebecca Lowe. All coming up here on talkSPORT.
Bringing all the biggest football debates stateside. The S Word from talkSPORT. S Word, featuring Will Gavin and Master Tess Fassian. And a squad of big-name contributors. The S Word from talkSPORT.
Welcome back to Hour 2 of the S Word here on talkSPORT. We are live on the talkSPORT YouTube channel, on the talkSPORT S Word YouTube channel as well as we are on TuneIn. We are on Tubi in video on demand. We are on SiriusXM FC. Thank you so much to those who are tuning in there. We are absolutely everywhere. Fox Soccer, we're on the Fox One app, we're on the Fox Sports app, and we are all over talkSPORT as well. So thank you so much. Wherever you're joining us, we are welcoming you in. I haven't actually gone into the chat today. I apologise for that. It got pretty spicy around our conversation earlier on, so maybe we'll revisit some of those bits and pieces later in the show. But thank you for everyone giving us love up in the chat as well. Love to see you all there. We've got a great hour coming up, Master, of the show.
Yes, we do.
We still got to look back on last night's games in a bit more detail. I want to talk about, we've got a preview. The Usmnt are in action tonight. Not harping back to our earlier conversation, but maybe a less important game because of the dead rubber nature, and therefore
not all of us can have a dead rubber match. I'll just tell you that much.
Very much so. Trust me, I know that feeling. Second game syndrome over here. I'm sure if the Usmnt had something massively on the line tonight, we probably would have done a whole 2 hours on that game today. Trust me, but we will.
I probably would have gone to the game. To be honest with you, but I'm not.
There we go. Aren't you in LA? LA as well. Like,
I am. I'll be on a red-eye flight to New York after the match.
Just waving at SoFi as you go by.
Yeah. Give a nice little salute to Christian Pulisic as he gets 20 minutes, and off we go.
And yeah, broadcasting royalty joins us a little later on. Rebecca Lowe, who spent her very start of her career in these hallowed halls at talkSPORT. So I can't wait to get Rebecca on. But first, let's look back on a couple of the biggest stories coming out of last night. And I'm delighted to say that the brilliant South African football expert, but based in Brazil, so he can give us both sides of that coin. The great Mbizo Mzamane joins us. Mbizo, how are you, brother?
Oh, there he is.
I'm good, boys. I'm vibing. Thank you.
Where you at right now? Where you at, Mbizo?
I am downtown. I'm Center City, about to get my hair done by my Haitian brother in a Nigerian hairdresser. So I'm going Pan-African today, as always.
Almost all of those nations are in the World Cup. I had to say that because of our Ghanaian tech op who would have told me off for not pointing out Nigeria, aren't there?
There's one missing out.
There you go.
But they'll be back.
Will they? No.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will. As long as they're not in our group, they have a chance. As long as they're not in our group, they'll be fine.
They're gonna expand the tournament apparently to 64 teams in 2030. So I mean, hopefully they don't miss out.
Yeah, they won't miss out. As long as they're not in our group.
Listen, Mbizo, tell us about the scenes last night when South Africa get that winner, hold on, qualify out of the group. I'm not sure if that after that first game against Mexico, a huge number of people expected this, but what a result.
I mean, I gotta tell you, the moment I saw Hugo Broos's first team versus Mexico, I thought to myself, if he is going to play like this every match in this opening round, then we're not going anywhere. But the fact that he had the presence of mind to put on the pitch the team that we had always wanted, especially in this last game, the fact that he started Rele Mofokeng for the first time in this tournament, for the first time, I think, almost in ever, that was the telling component. I knew we had a chance when he put our best footballers on the pitch. When he puts our ball players on the pitch, we know how to play this game. All domestic players, or mostly domestic players who play together in a top quality league, and who have the confidence to put the ball on the carpet and share it and pass it and break lines. And that's what we demonstrated we could do. I mean, I still think we should have won 2 or 3-0. 4-0 maybe. I mean, that's the amount of opportunities we created. We didn't have a cutting edge, but oh my God, I was in tears. I mean, I don't think South Africans can believe it. It's like a fever dream.
I'm hearing that Steve Clarke needs to be listening to Bafana and when he comes to setting up his team. That's what I'm hearing from you. Because, Master, it's all we can ask for. This endeavour, this wanting to go out and win, this wanting to go out and get a result to get through to the next stage.
Yeah, it's credit to South Africa because Mbizo, as you know, I didn't believe. I really did not believe in the South African side. But to make it to the knockout stage, to be with the 7th nation, I believe it's the 7th time that we've seen an African nation make it to the knockouts. How special is this moment? But also considering, the diaspora aspect of things, as we've talked about as well, how does it feel in terms of representing Africa, despite the fact that obviously a lot of Africans may have not been rooting for South Africa in this tournament?
Well, yeah, you're spot on there, Master. And you and I have spoken about it, how much it hurts me, some of the things that are happening in South Africa with regards to other Africans in politics and so on and so forth. It's a difficult time for the nation. It's a difficult time in terms of South Africa's relationship with the rest of the continent. So unfortunately, I don't think most of the continent right now will be reveling in this as we are. However, unfortunately, right now, that can't be my concern. My concern with that is when I speak about it and I condemn all the negativity that is happening in the country. But right now, at this moment, Master, I got to be honest with you, brother, I don't care. I don't care who doesn't want to see us win. I don't care who doesn't want to see us happy. Rele Mofokeng and the rest of the players, Hugo Broos, they've done nothing wrong. I've done nothing wrong. So we're going to celebrate this victory. And again, this heals, this win, this progression, it heals so many wounds that South Africans have had with regards to football. We are a traumatized nation, and we have an abusive relationship with Bafana, where they will give you hope and then they will rip it out of your hands. And so for us, we just feel like this is a watershed moment. All the hard work, all the dreams that have been shattered in the past, the 2010 failure, I mean, all of these things, it's just, this has culminated in this victory for us. And honestly, anything else right now is a plus for me. We've done enough. we've done enough. And yes, we can beat Canada. So I'm fine. I'm happy.
I want to follow up on that. From 2010 until now, the growth and development of South African football to reach this point, to reach the knockout stage, how beautiful of a journey has this been from 2010 until now? Obviously, it predates that, but the growth and development that we've seen, not just on the men's side, but also on the women's side as well, for the federation and to have this moment. What does this mean for South African football?
Well, again, Master, I mean, a lot of the legacy from the 2010 World Cup wasn't as impactful as we hoped it would be, not just in terms of the infrastructure and structures of football in the country, but in terms of the progress that we make and the quality of our football. But as you said it there, we've continued to improve. Teams like Sundowns have become a global powerhouse, well known all over the place. I mean, when I was walking with my Sundowns jersey during the Club World Cup here in Brazil, people recognize the jersey. So, I mean, we're talking about a meteoric rise, I think, from South African football recently. Again, and it's work being done at the grassroots level, at the league level, right, and also international level, right. The women's game is improving. South Africa is one of the top teams in Africa in terms of women's football. So again, I mean, it's just delightful to see that all the work we've put in, all the support, and all the pain and tears that we've poured in to Bafana, to Safa, it's working. And the truth is, I still think we can do more. I still think we have so much more potential. So I'm hoping that will occur moving forward.
Let me slightly turn attention to the fact that you are there in Brazil and also in action last night. Huge moment when Neymar comes on and we heard that unbelievable reaction in the stadium. You know, the result itself felt almost done and dusted from that first 7 or 8 minutes. But what's the reaction been back there to their performance in the group stage? And certainly, you know, we talked so much about whether or not Neymar should be in this squad, but you hear it from the fans in the stadium. They love to see him out there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think again, it's really split here in the country. I think some people are like, we have to have Neymar. We need him on the pitch. And some people are like, look, I hope he doesn't come in and mess up the good thing that we got going. But I think in general terms, I'd say that people are relieved. I think there's relief, not only with 3 points, but I think with a performance that people believe was a little bit better than some of the other performances, including some victories prior to the kickoff of the World Cup. So I think people are beginning to believe that Brazil has sort of found its team. You know, Matheus Cunha seems to be the one that we should be starting with. I'm a huge fan of Raya. I don't think Rafinha should have been starting in the first place. I still think Lucas Paquetá has absolutely no business in that starting lineup. Loses the ball entirely too frequently for my liking. I think there are players on the bench, including the likes of Endrick and Danilo, who could be better options. But I think the sense is that we're improving. The sense is that it's getting better. And so because of that, I think they're experiencing something Bafana fans often experience, which is a resurgence of hope. Okay, whether that will end in pain, I don't know. I hope not. But there's a resurgence of this hope and this belief that it is World Cup and this is Brazil. And things may not be going right all the time, but one thing this country knows how to do is win this thing. So I think that's what the feeling is down here.
It's easy to be hopeful when you have Vinny Jr. on your team. I mean, his performances to this group stage, it's almost mind-boggling to think that Brazilian fans were questioning his effort and his performances on the Brazilian national team when you look at the amount of goal contributions he's had in the last 2 World Cups, and Vinny Jr.'s fingerprints have been all over it. It's very clear that this baton is being passed in real time from Neymar straight to Vinny right now.
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. I think the frustration from Brazilian fans wasn't necessarily with his performance per se, but with his statistical output, right? I think people were frustrated at the fact that he's not as prolific as he could be with the Brazilian squad. He's not as prolific as he could be, or rather as he is with Real Madrid. So I think that was the frustration. So what I think people felt when they saw his performance yesterday was that he's beginning to reach the peaks that he deserves. He's beginning beginning to reach the peak that demonstrates who he really is and what kind of player he is. And I mean, wonderful goals. And again, even when he's not scoring, of course, he's participating. He's problematic to any winger who's on that side. He comes into the inside more recently, right, under Ancelotti. So it was an extremely dynamic performance. I think the worry is that, how is the collective? And I think that is also the frustration down here. The collective doesn't quite match his talents. But yesterday, once again, he put the country on his back and led them to glory. And hopefully he can do that a number of more times before the end of this tournament.
You did call on one of a favourite idiom of anyone, certainly English. I mean, pretty much, let's be honest, anyone outside of Brazil, Germany, those teams who consistently do really well, is the hope that kills you side of it. Is there a belief at this point that Brazil actually... Like, I'm looking at the draw as it stands right now. I know one of Master's favourite pastimes at this point. And I say, I think Japan give them problems. I think either the Ivory Coast or Norway give them problems. They then end up against Mexico or England in Miami, both teams that can give them problems. Like this, if Brazil are going to go all the way, if they're going to go far, like it looks like it's going to be a tough route. And I don't know, it's nice to advance, it's nice to get better, but I'm not quite ready to buy into this Brazil team as a winner of this tournament yet.
I mean, that's fair, but I mean, who really do you buy into as a winner of this tournament? I think there are very few teams where you think there's no other team that can trouble them. There's no other team that can challenge them. And as Master said, at the end of the day, the football doesn't have to be spectacular. It doesn't have to be perfect. When you have the kind of players that Brazil has, when you have a Vinicius Jr., for example, when you have Matheus Cunha playing at the level that he's playing, and Endrick coming off the bench to make those impacts, I think it's really not a question of is there a team that can trouble them? It's a question of, is it possible? And it is. The truth is, it is. And it will hurt if it doesn't happen, of course. But all of those teams you mentioned, despite being top quality teams, they can fall. They can fall at the hands of Brazil. Can they beat Brazil? Potentially, yes. But this country has won 5 World Cups, and they haven't always been the favorite for those World Cups. Sometimes people have said, this is not the year. They're not going to do it. They've left so-and-so behind. They left Romario behind. They left this player behind. And they've come out and they've done it. Ronaldo won this thing without any knees. And yes, we're talking about phenomenal. But we're talking about a country that simply knows how to win. And any Brazilian can pretend to not want to win, to not buy into it. But whenever kickoff comes around, I'm telling you that this place stops. I'm telling you that this place stops. Everybody looks at a screen somewhere, somehow. I did a stupid thing and tried to order food yesterday just before the game. I didn't get it. I didn't get it until South Africa kicked off, because the country stops. People believe, right? And a performance like Vinicius Jr.'s yesterday is just going to augment that belief. That's it.
It's a wonderful thing.
I think that performance was very much needed. And in fact, Vinny is only 2 goals away from tying Neymar with 8 goals in World Cup performances. Like, what he is doing right now, to me, in my personal opinion, he has been the best performer in this group stage. He is carrying this Brazilian side that I have felt has been the worst Brazilian side I've seen in my lifetime. He is literally carrying them on his back. And in this 4-4-2 formation with Carlo Ancelotti, we're seeing something similar that we saw with those two at Real Madrid before Mbappe showed up, that 4-4-2 diamond formation that they were able to win the Champions League with. He looks very comfortable in this, and Carlo Ancelotti is giving him the room to go out there and be a difference maker and having those one-on-one, those dual opportunities on the counter, and he's making the most of them. Mbizo, it truly is. We're seeing that Vinny spark again. We're seeing that Vinny glow again. We're seeing that Baila Vinny that we've been missing, I would say, but also that Brazil has desperately needed. That Jogo Bonito, that flair, that personality to come out in this national team side.
Yeah, absolutely, man. They've come alive. And again, I think Ancelotti, I've been quite frustrated with some of his starting lineup picks recently. But I think he got it closer to right this time around. And so what's happening as well is that Vinicius Jr. doesn't feel quite so alone. He's not so alone in that attack. I felt much of the time when the ball would get to Rafinha, we lose it. The attack dies, So Vinicius Jr. might could do some spectacular things and then crosses into the box or plays it elsewhere, and then the attack dies. And I felt like that did not happen. Again, no offense to anyone, but Scotland isn't necessarily the pattern or
I don't know if you saw my face when Mus said the best performer. I sit here and went, definitely in the conversation. Do I have to take, because a lot of people would put Messi up there, but you also have to take his opponents into account. Like, you put Mbappe up there, but it's been flashes rather than consistent brilliance. And I was like, but it was Scotland. That was the thing that I kept coming back to. Sorry to our Scottish brothers. I love you dearly, but...
It was Algeria and Austria for Messi.
Yeah, completely.
And I get it.
He scored against Morocco.
Right, and to be fair also to Scotland, they won a game. They pushed Morocco. I mean, obviously Morocco dominated the game, but they were able to hold them to 1 goal. And you have a lot of experienced players in the Scotland team who play in Europe. So you are talking about a team who isn't necessarily a complete dud. You know what I mean? So for me, again, I mean, 2 things can be true at once, right? That Scotland perhaps isn't the parameter for what is a top quality team you need to defeat to make it far in the World Cup. But simultaneously, Brazil's performance improved. And with improved performance comes more confidence, comes more self-belief, which I think is even more important than the belief we have of them as fans. If they can continue to cultivate that self-belief, then I don't think they have a reason to fear anyone. Respect, surely. But fear, that is not a word that comes into Brazilian, I think, syntax in any conversation regarding football.
I mean, using syntax at the end of that just made me love you even more. Mbizo. Wonderful stuff from you. Thank you so much for joining the show, Mbizo. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Congratulations. I love to see you smiling, my friend.
Big love. We smiling, brother. We smiling. Thanks, boys.
Enjoy getting your hair done as well, because I thought it already looked sensational, but I'm sure it will only be better for the knockout stages.
I'm a little jealous. I wish I could go in line after him. I need to get a reach with myself.
Listen, we've got Rebecca Lowe coming up momentarily. But first, we've got a few bits to go from last night, a few bits of news to hit still. So we're back with the S Word with Will Gavin and Master Tez Fatsian, sponsored by Clarke here from talkSPORT.
The daily deep dive into the world of football. The S Word from talkSPORT. S-word's here. Just 2 hours of full-on football dialogue. Every day, talkSPORT presents the S-word.
I'm so intrigued. The production team teased that there was going to be a surprise during the last guest, and I'm not sure I've said it. It was just he was getting his hair done. Just, okay, fine. Live production meetings, I love doing those on air. You are watching the Yes Word, sponsored by Calci. I'm Will Gavin. He's Master Tesfazian, live out in Los Angeles, California, heading to New York tomorrow, living his life at the World Cup. I cannot tell you, how jealous I am every single day of the fun stuff you're doing. And listen, I have a wonderful family at home, still very young. It was not realistic for me to make this World Cup. There were plans put in place at one point, and I've got to go do some seriously cool stuff in my life. I've got to go to so many Super Bowls and other events in America and around Europe and everything else. So, it's FOMO, but it's very much from a position of privilege, right? It's not like I never get to do stuff like this. I just desperately hope that when the Euros are here in 2 years' time, when they're in Ireland, when they're in Scotland and Wales and here in England as well, that there is just 30% of the party that we've seen in North America over the last 2 weeks, that the European nations fully bring it, because I'm going to be going to every match I can get to that in 2 years' time, every single one.
You're going to probably need a hydration break for each match as well, because I'm seeing the weather that's going on.
God. I just left the weather right now. Nearly melted. I was just like, oh.
Hey, it's been a great tournament, and but I do real quick. I want to address something as we can. It was part of the chat that happened between the head-to-head tiebreaker and goal differential. I want to address something that was said in the chat, Will, that I'd like to make public, okay? Because
this goes back to our conversation from the start of the show, just to be clear.
Yes, which there's already a clip posted on Instagram if you'd like to go there and check it out after the show.
I haven't collaborated yet. My phone's on charge, but I will go and check it out.
I was shocked at how quickly they were turning this around, but I understand why. I feel like my reputation was being questioned, and I had to clear the air here, because. As we were
I'd like to be very clear on this. I know what's coming. I said this in a private group chat. I did not say it on air.
No.
You are making the decision to bring this conversation to the masses.
Yes, I am. Let me finish here. In the chats, as we were debating the head-to-head tiebreaker versus goal differential.
And we all know the other thing as well.
And the hydration break, of course, putting your fours up, as we all do. Will called me a FIFA shill. And I just, for the record, I just wanted to make sure that, 14 years of journalism that I've done, the winning APSC awards and breaking news and, doing all the amazing things in my career and my accomplishments. I just want to make sure the record is known that I am not a FIFA shill whatsoever. I have never, ever in my life attempted to be a FIFA shield. I have really been an objective journalist, and I have always been for the people, by the people. Never in my life, never in my life could you ever consider the fact that I was caping on behalf of FIFA. More so, I was just caping on the fans, the players, making sure they're properly hydrated, making sure the fans could go use the bathrooms, go get a drink.
We need to see what's on the badge. You need to be holding it up, brother.
I just want to make sure that people know that, I am not a FIFA shield, but all these, as I go to matches, just going and supporting. It's a beautiful game as it is, getting some incredible attire, and I had a FIFA ambassador that looked at me and was like, "Hey, is that the guy on talkSPORT?" I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" and stuff. He's like, "Hey, I go in the comments all the time and I hear them making fun of your forehead because you're East African and stuff. So they got me this nice little hat to help me cover up my forehead, so maybe people can focus on my takes and not my forehead, So I was like, that was very, another great decision by FIFA. It's crazy. It's crazy how they come up with great things, great ideas, great concepts. But again, for the record, Master Tesfazian is not a FIFA shill. So I want to make sure the record is known. Okay, just because I support head-to-head tiebreakers over goal differentials, because I love water hydration breaks, make sure everyone's properly hydrated in this global warming world that we're in right now, and just because, hey, maybe I like an extended halftime show, maybe my hips don't lie, we saw me hula hooping, maybe it does lie.
I am for the halftime shows. I'll put that on record quite happily.
Maybe I want to dance a new Shakira World Cup song, just and see her in Border Boys. Maybe I like a 10-minute performance. Maybe I do, but that is not make me a FIFA shill. I just want to make sure I put that on the record, Will. Okay?
I love that dearly. I love you dearly. That's absolutely sensational from you. Well done, sir. Now, you might want to take that off because I want to talk about the Mbizo situation.
I can't keep this on?
Yeah, you can keep it on. You can keep it on if you wish. It's a funny thing, right? I don't want to come on here and do this kind of big angry rant that I will sometimes do about some topics, but I woke up to this morning and it wasn't so much an eye roll. It was like it was a bit of disbelief, honestly. And listen, the Ismail Kone broken leg is a horror situation. Like, genuinely one of those things in football that you shouldn't go back and watch. You should not go back and watch that. It's a horrible moment that happened. But what I will say is that if you do go back and watch what happened there, it is, I think it is a late, misguided attempt to play the ball, which has led to a horror injury. I do not believe that it is a red card tackle. I believe that in the moment a yellow card was given, and that's probably the correct response for that situation. I think that seeing the response of the players, you heard Jesse Marsh talking about being able to hear his legs snap on the sideline. You saw the likes of Richie Laurier getting absolutely in his face. There was so much emotion to it. They were so upset about it in the moment. And you have to say, Mbizo himself absolutely distraught. After the game, he went to the Canadian locker room and went and apologised. After the game, he went to the hospital and visited with Kone. And there are photos and videos of the two of them hugging and forgiveness being shared. A 5-game retrospective ban for that just feels like absolute overkill. It feels borderline ridiculous to me. It feels like, I mean, I want to talk about ridiculous. Look at the hat this man is wearing. But like, it just, what it feels like is it feels a little bit like FIFA looking at this guy who has played 64 times for his nation, has never been sent off before, has one red card in his domestic career previously, but is not known as a violent player, is not known as an angry player. They cannot hang this thing on the idea that this is previous conduct as a factor for extending this. And yet, giving the guy 5 games feels like they've gone, this isn't someone who's going to be making an impact in the latter stages. You know, we can talk about Otamendi and Ronaldo and all those players who had their cards rescinded for the tournament because it was better for teams to start on a level playing field. That's what FIFA said. And it just feels like they're making an example of somebody who has already gone huge ways to make amends for the error that he made. Even if you extend it to 2 or 3 games, I think I'd go, maybe a little harsh, but okay. But 5 games sitting on his record forever as if he's gone and done something completely on purpose to purposely injure someone, just, it felt horrible to me. And I don't know, I wanted to just get that off my chest and make it clear that it feels like a huge overreaction. Absurd even.
It feels like FIFA's caring more about the social media reaction than they are common sense and practicality here. Because if you watch the play, you watch the situation, there wasn't any sort of deliberate or intentional act to destroy his leg. That I don't think you could walk away from that video watching that and thinking that he was out there to shatter someone's leg. So a 2 or 3 game suspension should have been more than adequate. To give him 5, I think it's truly just off of the reaction of the social media outcry and the criticism. And personally, we've seen that a couple times here throughout this group stage tournament where certain situations have played out. There's been a social media reaction. The next day, the officiating kind of course corrects. Whether it was, of course, the missed penalty in Ghana, England. Then yesterday, Vinny's goal gets called back on a VAR decision that I just did not agree with whatsoever on a foul. These kind of situations, again, it feels like FIFA is looking at social media, seeing what the fans are upset about, and doing everything they can to try and course correct that. And I think that's just the worst decision to make. The decision in the call on the field was very clear. You should act on it in accordance to the FIFA rules for this kind of red card, and you shouldn't do anything more or less to that, in my personal opinion. 5 games, it is a major overreach, and I hope it gets rescinded, and I hope it's properly the 2 or 3 games that a red card in that manner should probably be punished for. But 5 games is just, I couldn't. It's still hard. Still in disbelief that was the decision that was made off that.
And overreach is exactly the right word for it. Sensational from you, Master. There were a couple of games from last night. We've not hold up your medallion. Come on, show the world. Get.
I got World Cup fever, baby.
It's yeehaw. Absolutely, yeah, yeehaw indeed. It's FIFA flav is what I would call that.
When are we doing our hydration
break?
break?
I thought that was good. I thought that was quite good.
I'm sorry. I was preparing for my hydration break. I wasn't ready for this one.
All right, I called you FIFA Flav, like Flavor Flav.
Qualities of a good uncle.
Like, no. Yeah, it was a bit of an unk joke. I'm sorry. Yeah, I do apologise for that. We'll talk more Mexico, we'll talk more Korea as they get to the knockout stages, because both are there. Mexico getting through, winning all of their group stage games, and you talked about it earlier. Sensational scenes in South America, sensational scenes in Atlanta, as we heard from Kev earlier. But the USMNT are in action today. We've not really talked a huge amount about it. Let's hear first and foremost from Chris Richards, who came back in the last game, looked absolutely excellent. Is going to be a key part of this USMNT team if they are going to win some knockout games, and he's been speaking with our very own Ben Jacobs at Open Media Availability.
I like the saying that he's kind of made his slogan over the last few months is "Why not us?" We're America, obviously, and I think that's a very ambitious quote from him. We're a land of dreamers, and I think in the past maybe we've been okay with going to World Cups or going to big tournaments and not necessarily participating, but being like, oh, we want to make it to the round of 32, we want to make it to the round of 16. We want to go as far as possible. We want to win. And every game we play, every tournament we play, we want to win both of those things. So I think to limit ourselves with, oh, we want to go to the quarterfinals, oh, we want to make it to the semifinals. I want to win. And so, like I said, I think his quote, "Why not us?" I think that's something that I'll always bring within my career. I mean, I've experienced it with Palace, so I think it's good to have that same mindset and mentality when it comes to the national team.
Apologies, that was a mislabeled wrong clip, but let's give a shout out and a credit to our friend Roger Bennett and the Great Men in Blazers and the wonderful work that they do, and you can check out that full interview, I'm sure, on their YouTube page. The sentiment is still there, very similar to what he said in the conversations with Ben as well. Look, we can go back and forth on the dead rubber thing and whatever else, but what do you want to see from the USMNT in this game in preparation for the round of 32 and the knockouts?
Yeah, it looks like there's a very good chance that it's going to be USA versus Bosnia and Herzegovina in the round of 32 in the Bay Area. And so I think mindset-wise, you're facing a different opponent here in Turkey that may not have the same size as Bosnia and Herzegovina, but can play a bit physical. And I think that's more so what you're trying to prepare for against Bosnia. So the biggest thing would be, obviously, rotation, getting in other guys that could potentially be used in Bosnia and Herzegovina match, and probably at some point in the knockout stage, hopefully, if they do make a deep run, that these guys get some experience, get some World Cup minutes under their belts, maybe a couple of guys get some starts. The good news has been, because of the victory against Paraguay and other moments against Australia, they have been able to rotate and bring in other guys in this tournament to get some World Cup minutes, and even guys coming off the bench and scoring goals. So that's obviously the main key point, walking out of here healthy, making sure we're fit, ready to go for the round of 32 match. And that turns us to Christian Pulisic. I don't know if he'll start. I don't expect him to start, but I would love for him to get 20, 25 minutes at the end of this match if he is fit enough to go for 20, 25 minutes. So that way he is ready to go. And starting against Bosnia and Herzegovina, it's amazing to think that he's only played 45 minutes, Will. And the USA was still able to wrap up this group and get 6 points in the first 2 matches. So all in all, yeah, there's not anything on the line here for the U.S. or for Turkey, but I think this is a match in which Pochettino will try different things, as he always does, to see how he can create some other combinations, using it on the World Cup stage that could potentially serve them either in the round of 32 or somewhere in the knockout stage. That is what my hope is.
Yeah, and look, I think it'd be overplaying it to say, loss of momentum, etc. If you do that, I think everyone accepts that those games are going to mean enough next. I heard some people kind of speculating on this on social media. All right, nice. About the fact that, with it being a dead rubber, does that take some air out of the balloon, etc. But I think, for me, it's a knockout game in a World Cup coming up. They're going to take it seriously on home soil. If they don't, then they would have some serious questions to answer for themselves. One person we know is going to be involved in those knockout stages because she is doing such a wonderful and sensational job of hosting this World Cup on Fox, who we are affiliated with, is the brilliant Rebecca Lowe. And she is going to be joining the show, broadcasting royalty, up next here on the S Word.
Around here, we only use the F word. talkSPORT presents the S Word. It's the show for people who love football in North America. And I mean the proper kind, where you only use your feet. The S Word from talkSPORT.
You're back with the S Word on talkSPORT. I'm Will Gavin, live here in London. Master Tess Fatsian, live from Los Angeles, California. Are you still in full FIFA shill gear? Yes, you are. Are you sure you want to spend...
Put your fours up, baby. Put your fours up, baby.
The last 20 minutes... Was that an echo? What just happened? Oh, God. You and Gabs have some kind of weird telepathic link. Are you sure you're not firing off the sound drops yourself from over there at this point?
Hey, I might have some Ghanaian in my blood. Who knows, my brother?
Listen.
But we're not gonna go there, are we? We're not gonna go there, are we not?
Yeah, we'll have plenty of opportunity to go there. Don't you worry, sir. We've got a great guest coming on momentarily, so we will be with the brilliant Rebecca Lowe in a second. Don't forget, we are available as a podcast. If you're joining us live for the first time, whether that's on SiriusXM FC, whether that's on TuneIn Radio, whether that's on our own YouTube channel, the talkSPORT S Word, or on the talkSPORT channel as well. You can get involved in the chat, get in touch with the show, all over the social media channels as well, Instagram, X, YouTube. We're at talkSPORT S Word in all those locations. But yeah, you can check us out as a podcast. So we're available on Spotify. We're on Apple as a video podcast as well. And we've just gone onto the Fox One app as well, where we'll be available. You can go back and watch all of the episodes from prior to this. You know, I try and do a good job.
Welcome to all of our friends.
When we're kind of editing those back, we're trying to like make them relevant to the previous day. So you're not getting like us previewing games that have already happened. So I still think they're there and available for you to enjoy. We've had some amazing guests over the first few weeks of the World Cup. The Steve Nashes of the world. Brad Friedel has joined us. I did a big list earlier and I can't remember who's on it now, but yeah.
Some great rants, some great banter, some great jokes, you know.
Some wonderful hats as well.
A lot of wonderful hats. I think I'm going to wear this every show now. I'm not going to lie with you. I look great in this. I really do. And considering how hot it's going to be in New York, if whatever interviews I might be able to get this weekend in New York, if you see this hat on my head, don't be surprised.
But by the way, your forehead is welcome here at any point, brother. And I am somebody whose forehead is also absolutely no shrinking violet. It's been often referred to as a 5-head. So don't you worry. It's.
But whoever's cutting your hair is doing a fabulous job.
Well,
may I?
There you go. I'll let Ed's Barbers in Collier's Wood know.
Maybe they can watch it on the Fox One app on demand.
Tomorrow we've got the great Ariel Hawani will be joining the show, and we'll be reflecting on tonight's games as well. We'll be talking the Usmnt in action against Turkey. Paraguay and Australia, will they go down the West Germany-Austria route of just not taking a single shot on goal and just playing it out for a draw? Plus loads happening. Japan, Sweden, Tunisia, Netherlands. Will get into all
They have their own history too, Will. The disgrace of Guidon, I believe it's called, 40 years ago. So, that could potentially happen as well. So, again, that one's going to be a very, very fascinating match to see how that situation plays out. I personally think Algeria. Hey, look at that! Oh, now we are in business.
I can't believe we're about to welcome on one of my both favourite people and best guests, and we're both wearing absolutely ridiculous hats. But it's time to welcome broadcasting royalty, who started her career in these very hallowed halls. Well, kind of in a much dingier office that we used to have about 2 miles down the road. But I'm delighted to welcome on the face of Fox Broadcasting out in the US for this World Cup, the wonderful Rebecca Lowe is here. Rebecca, thank you so much for coming on and joining the show. It's so wonderful to see you.
Hi guys. Oh, thank you for having me. I know. Do you remember those offices down the road? They were very different from those new ones. The 2002 talkSPORT was quite different to 2026 talkSPORT.
You should know, whenever we have production staff who come through, and we're not kind of in this modern era now, right, where if you want to kickstart your own career, you've got starting a YouTube channel, you've got starting a podcast, you have lots of ways to do it off your own back. Yours is a name that comes up regularly whenever anyone wants to say yeah, I want to do on air stuff. Well, Rebecca Lowe started here as a phone op, so anything can happen.
Well, that's nice. I'm glad I'm being used like that. But it's true. I mean, a phone op, literally hours on the phone, and then answering all the viewers, and then making tea, coffee. We're getting out Alan Brazil his sausage sandwiches every morning. I did it all, guys.
And real quick, she's doing it all here in the States. One of the most impressive things I've seen was Rebecca Lowe going to the Olympics and having absolutely zero turnaround, and then doing Premier League coverage literally right off the backs of that. Your Olympics coverage here was tremendous, and then going and literally being on the road, I think, for that first week of the Premier League season. I was blown away. I literally was texting friends that have NBC and stuff like that. I was like, this is unbelievable what she's doing right now. This is Mike Tirico levels of hosting right now.
Did you expect this ego boost when you came on this morning, Rebecca?
This is not, I tell you what, for 6:45 a.m, I'll take this, guys. Thank you. No, it's been an amazing year. It has been one of those, like, when I started 2026, I knew this was going to be a challenging year for lots of great reasons. Not just the travel, but just like the energy levels required, and also just trying to do a good job with the Olympics and the Premier League, Kentucky Derby, and now the World Cup. But I mean, how lucky am I? This is a little bit insane.
It's wonderful to see. We absolutely love it. How much fun are you having? We're seeing all the clips from the panel. We're sharing some of them on the show. Being there with Thierry, with Zlatan, with Alexi, I'm not saying it's an easy job by any stretch of the imagination. You look like you've got your work cut out, but it looks like you're also having a lot of fun.
I do feel like sometimes I'm herding cattle. Yes. They are absolutely brilliant in every way. Honestly, we have so much fun. It's probably the most unpredictable show or panel that I've ever had across my entire 25-year career. But sometimes I think in life you need that. You need to be kept on your toes. And boy, do they keep me on my toes. I love them to pieces. We connected, all of us as a four. We really bonded straight away. Pretty quickly, actually. And then you're spending hours. I mean, we are on air 10 hours a day, really. And then you've got hair and makeup and meetings beforehand, so you really with each other 12 hours a day after day after day. And we're not even halfway through yet, but it has just been, there are many, many moments, guys, where I just sort of sit in a meeting and I look around and there's Thierry and Alexi and there's Zlatan, and I'm just like, this is a little surreal for me. This is a bit mad. And I also know, guys, that it comes to an end. This isn't a 2-year deal. This is coming to an end in less than a month. And I don't want to be at home at the end of July and going, oh, it all went so quickly. So I'm trying to savor moments as I go along.
I love the idea of it being the wildest panel you've ever worked with, despite the fact you've worked with Alan Brazil. Those two things are completely in my head.
And Mike Parry, by the way.
Luckily, Masters not had to experience Mike Parry. Alan, and shout out to him. I was chatting to him the other day. He should be back in the coming weeks from his health issue.
Bless him.
Indeed. Love him to pieces. But yeah,
love him.
Masters hasn't had to experience Parry yet, so that's a good thing.
I have loved everyone I've experienced here at talkSPORT to this point, and I've enjoyed the new building. I'll say that much. One thing I'm sure that you had to enjoy that went viral was seeing Zlatan and Thierry Henry juggling a ball just in between the breaks. I'm sure you on stage there. It went mega viral. As it was happening in real time, take us through that experience of seeing these two legends still showing their touch off in the studio.
Well,
in a full suit, by the way. In a tailored suit.
In a tailored suit and dress shoes, like Masters, it was like, and it wasn't planned. Like there was a ball in there because they were filming something, or we had to film something, and they just started. And Zlatan has his social media guy, Pietro, who's with us at all times because this is 2026, and so it's like a full-time job, obviously. And he just started filming, and they would freestyle. Not want to be involved in this situation because at the beginning, which you didn't see, it was sort of me, Alexi, and them two, and like they passed me the ball. And I'm like in 4-inch heels, guys. I do not need to be in this. I'm absolutely fine. I passed them the ball back and I got out of the way, and I let them do their thing. But I mean, it is mesmerising, and how you can be, obviously in your 40s in a suit with not football boots on and do that so casually and effortlessly. And now I think they've had about 100 million views. It's insane.
Absolutely love it. And it sounds like you were all having a lot of fun, because the other thing is we do see those clips. My favourite one of everything we've seen is the Zlatan, the ignorant people call it arrogance, intelligent people call it confidence clip, which is just mwah. But like, people want to try and make out like there's some real beef there or anything. People will have seen me and Master at the start of this show going at each other over some conversations that we've had. But is it all just love behind the scenes? Is everyone?
No, it is. No, it is. Will, honestly, Masters, I promise you, it really is. These stories do make me laugh, and we do laugh about them. We're like, another one, and it's getting a little out of hand because we're going, through every major newspaper now. Like, okay, guys, like maybe let's pivot and write about something else. That would be good, like the football, maybe. No, it's There is nothing. There is no tension, nothing. We're laughing our heads off at all of this. Everyone respects everyone hugely. And if people want to watch and actually listen to what the guys say to each other and how they work off each other, they would see that. But, we don't live in that world, do we, guys? We live in the clickable world. We live in the, that might mean something, so let's click it up, clip it off and put it everywhere. And then everyone piles in. We don't live in a, hang on a second, when Alexi just mentioned something Zlatan said and he nodded and then he said, no, you're right, Alexi. That's not clippable, right? That's just not where we live right now. So, it's a strange old narrative. I tell you, when you're right in the middle of the thunderstorm and I'm right in the middle of it with them all day, every day, it just doesn't exist. It's crazy.
Beautiful.
It feels like every day I look at my phone and there's a new press release from Fox Sports saying record viewership across the board, biggest day on record for American soccer fans.
And we're giving a little bit to that on our Fox One app and Fox Soccer app stuff, Master. Just remember a tiny percentage of that view is just from us.
Little smidge. But Rebecca, to see that growth, and it feels like now as an American soccer fan, these press releases are happening all year round in every competition, every league where the growth and the viewership continues to grow. Experiencing that with this World Cup, here being the host nation, what has that been like for you as a constant voice and a pillar for the coverage here in the States?
Masters, it actually means a huge amount. It's like validating almost my decision for my family and I to move to this country, because when we made the move in 2013, America was still seen as like a non-football country, not interested in football, never will be, hadn't woken up to it, and we're never going to wake up to it. So when I took that risk and moved here, I knew, having lived here for a year when I was 18, more about the country maybe than other people would have done in that same position and maybe would have turned the opportunity down. I knew the size. I knew that it was coming. I just knew that it was coming. And I feel like, okay, it's taken 13 years, guys. And it hasn't actually, because the viewership of the Premier League has really, really shot up in the last 5 years. Same with the Champions League. It really is here now. And it used to be, when I first moved here in 2013, it was a little bit niche. It was a little bit, if you know, you know, or, oh, soccer, you like soccer? That's cute. Like, my kid plays soccer. And then that was it. There was not like, we watch it, my kid plays it. Now, kids play it, people watch it. You've seen the pictures. It's everywhere. This country very rarely comes together as a country, mainly because it's so massive and everyone's doing their own thing, unless it's a Super Bowl, but that's only for one day, or maybe elements of the Olympics. But again, it's only elements, maybe the ice hockey during the Winter Olympics, that was a big deal. But this is bigger than even that. And this is bringing a country together that doesn't get what we get in England, where in England, the national narrative is the same because we're all in the same time zone. It's only small and there's only a certain amount of stuff going on. So everyone's talking at the water cooler on a Monday morning about the same thing. Here, it's England times 50 because of the amount of states there are, if not more in terms of size. And so it's hard to really bond a country together. But this has done that. And this summer of 2026 is everything I thought it would be. And it's everything for this sport in this country. It's going to take it forward exponentially.
It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to hear, Rebecca. Now, we've seen a similar growth over here from the NFL. As you know, I cover that and I do the play-by-play for that. And so I wonder, our show, tongue-in-cheek, is called The S Word, soccer versus football, etc.
Okay.
Have you ever had to, adapt your language? Have you ever had to maybe bite your tongue a little bit and try and Americanize it a little bit? Because I know I get in trouble. I'll go on air to talk about football and I'll say defense instead of defense because I'm in NFL mode. And immediately I get dived all over. I get killed.
Yeah.
So have you ever found, have you had to just adapt the language a little bit for the US?
No, do you know what, Will? I haven't. And when I first arrived here, I said to NBC, am I supposed to say the Premier League standings or can I say table? And he was like, the boss said, just do you. Do we want it to be authentic? So just be who you are. So I haven't adapted anything. However, I would say that the longer you live in a foreign country, and if you have a child in a foreign country, which also then you're hearing all the schoolyard things, and he's very American. Our little boy is 10, and so he's very American. You do change your language in everyday life. So I call it soccer a lot because Teddy, my little boy, plays soccer, and that's what everyone calls it. Because if he said he was going to football practice, they'd think he was playing flag football. So it's like the same thing with, can you pass the trash bin? If you say, can you pass the bin, people, it's just like trunk and boot. And so I have ended up changing my language a little bit outside of my Premier League show, but in terms of on the actual show with football words, I don't think I say anything American. I might have once said the next 45 is coming up, and I think that's quite American. But here's the other thing. I've been here so long now, I can't now remember what's American and what's English. I'm the absolute hybrid of the two. So to answer your question, on purpose, no, but maybe a little naturally at times.
Master, it feels like a perfect moment for you to mention quarters and throwing your fours up to me.
And literally, I was literally about to ask that. Rebecca, come on now, embrace it. Hydration breaks. Listen, in college football, it's big. Fourth quarter's coming up. We throw our fours up.
I know.
Can we get a fours up from you one time in the studio? That's all I'm asking for. On a Fox Sports.
No.
Get you, Zlatan, Thierry Henry, get the whole guys, get Alexi Lalas on board during a hydration break. Get John Strong. 45 minutes now, 45 to go. Can we get John Strong to say, put your fours up? We're going into the fourth quarter.
John might have to change his tagline, mightn't he? He might have to do 22 and a half gone, 67 and a half to go. Because it's like, it is so quarterized, isn't it? It's not, and again, because it happens to be in America this time around, everyone's like hammering that it's an American thing or that it's a Fox thing. Like, oh my God, please, guys, can we just stop with the blaming America and blaming Fox? It's a FIFA thing. And if this World Cup, if this had happened in, just happened to be in Spain this time around, it would have been the same. It's just the way the world has gone. It's really annoying that people are blaming America because it happened to be in America. Because it's not going to go anywhere for the next World Cup, by the way, as much as I wish it would.
But you're not going to throw the fours up. That's the most important thing. It may be not going anywhere, but we're not.
If they want to blame America,
thank you.
Let them blame America. Put your fours up, baby. Put your fours up. Let's embrace it. Let's lean in.
Rebecca, I know you've got another massive day, as you do every day for the next 20-plus days. So thank you so much for the wonderful time you've given us.
Thank you so much.
We really appreciate you. Have a great rest of the tournament.
Thank you, guys. Speak to you again. Appreciate you both. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
The wonderful Rebecca Lowe joining us on the S Word, which wraps us up for the day. Enjoy the Usmnt game today, Master. We'll chat to you tomorrow morning from New York. I can't believe you wore that hat for the entire interview. I can't work out if it's sensational or horrendous, but I love you for it.
I am not a FIFA shield. I am not a FIFA shield. Okay?
Thank you so much
Just
for
let
watching.
The record be known.
This has been the S Word, sponsored by Kalshi.
From kickoff to the full-time whistle, talkSPORT presents the S Word.